Let's do some bookish things today. So to start off my day, I want to go for a walk and maybe get a coffee. It's going to get hot today, so I want to do it early so I can get in and out before the heat. And then I thought while I'm on my walk, I would listen to The Predator by Runix. I haven't started it yet, so I'll be basically starting it on this walk. So hopefully it's good. And then today I'm going to the pottage. So the pottage is like a ceramics painting, like workshop thing. So it's about 3 hours per session and you can paint as many things that you want in that 3 hours and then they will like glaze and fire it for you. So I have been before once, and like I'm not particularly artistic. Let me see if I can grab it. But I tried to do a little bookish sort of themed mug. So this is it here. Hopefully I'll show you a proper overview in a second out of the sort of like reflection of the sun. But yeah, we're going to try something similar today. I don't know if I'm going to paint a mug because it comes out quite small compared to what you actually paint originally. Obviously the firing process maybe shrinks it a little bit. So I will have a look at what options there are to paint because I'm not a huge knick-knack person, but maybe it might be fun if I can get like a container shape thing to do like bookmarks or something. And then yeah, I'll just go through Pinterest and see if I can come up with some inspiration because I don't have that artistic bent to be able to just pull something out of my head. I kind of have to almost copy from someone else's ideas. But yeah, I'll show you the mug and then I will check back in when we're heading to the pottage. So I'm back from the pottage now. I've showered, washed off the sunscreen. I'm going to have some lunch and then I might sit outside after lunch if it's not too hot and then do some reading on my Kindle. Otherwise I'll just sort of veg out in here in the shade. But I'm not sure if I fully explained what the pottage is. So essentially what you do, you pay for a booking and then you pay for whatever you paint, but the pottage already has like created the pieces and then you just paint them and they then take them, glaze them and then fire them. And then in, I don't even know how long, like a month, probably not even that long, they send out a message and say, everyone from this particular date, your stuff is ready. And then you can go pick up your pottery pieces. So I was going to film a lot more than what I did while I was there, but I just kind of got in the zone. We're just talking, having fun. It was a last minute thing for me because my friend had booked it in with like her family, but she had a couple people pull out. So they asked me and one of their other friends to see if we wanted to take the booking. So I hadn't particularly planned on being there, so I didn't have anything too prepared. But for me, I don't do a lot of knickknacks. So I went a mug, and then you get 3 hours there, but you know, as much as 3 hours sounds like a long time, by the time you pick out what you want to actually paint, what designs you want on there, and then you're painting and all that kind of stuff, the 3 hours goes pretty quick. So I did a mug, which was my original idea. I kind of just did like a mountainscape thing. And then I had about 45, 50 minutes left at the end. So I did this little vase thing that's going to be cute for like a dried flower or something. So nothing too big, but just like kind of a really small one. So I'll show you like a little overview. I did manage to get some video of the sort of like finished project. Obviously it's not been glazed or fired or anything, so it's not the finished product. So it does come out with the colors a lot more vibrant and darker, and then obviously shiny as well. And then, yeah. So I was going to go like a themed one, like a bookish sort of themed thing, but I couldn't decide what I really wanted. And I thought like a night sky with some mountains and some stars would represent quite a lot of fantasy books. So I went very vague on the bookish things, but I know that it sort of represents the more bookish fantasy sort of themes. But yeah, I can't wait to see how it ends up, because I did try to do a lot of, like, the paint doesn't sort of blend like normal paint. It sort of dries in as you do it. So I've layered up a few, like I tried to go darker to lighter, so it looks like there's kind of like almost like a sunrise or a moonrise behind the mountains, and then lots of different little stars and stuff. So I don't know how well it'll all come out when I actually finish, or it's finished glazing. But yeah, I'm excited to see. But I'm about to have my lunch now, and then I'll come back when I'm done and doing some reading. I did start The Predator this morning by Runix. I didn't get too far through because I only went for a shorter walk, because that's when my friend messaged and said, hey, do you want to do this thing? So I had to get back home. But yeah, so I haven't really got much to say about that book yet, just because I am like maybe 3 or 4 chapters in and not much has happened yet. So I don't really know what the story's about, but it sounds a bit like rival, like mafia type families that have like this really tenuous truce going on. And then the children of these families now have grown up and are now interacting, and potentially there being some things that could influence the truce or break the truce going on. So yeah, I'm excited to continue with that one, but I have a book that I'm reading on my Kindle at the moment that I want to finish maybe today. I don't think I've got that much left on it, so that's what I'll read, but I'll chat to you about it later when I finish lunch. So I probably won't finish or even continue Runix in today's vlog, but that'll be something that I have got coming up in a video. I'm doing another anticipated 5-star video, so that one this book has been on my radar for quite a while, so you'll get my full thoughts and everything on The Predator in that vlog. But for now, we are gonna eat this and put everything away before it gets too hot, because it is not too hot today. It's about 32, 35 degrees now. But yeah, I think tomorrow and maybe the day after, one of them's going to get to like mid 40s. So it's going to be horrible. But let's eat. Alright guys, I'm gonna look crazy because it's about 40 degrees today, it feels like. So it's quite warm in here because I don't have working aircon, but it's cooler to be in the locked up house than it is outside at the moment. But I finished up the book that I was reading. So it's called A Foretale of Silver Fables by Amy R. Emberhart. So this is the first book of a series, or what's going to be a series. This one was only just released, I think, in November of 2025, so I don't know how many books they're going to have in the series altogether. But yeah, I finished the first one today. I'm giving it 3 stars. I did have a good time with it. It just, I don't know why I don't feel like it's a 4 or 5 star, but having said that, I do plan on continuing actually reading the series when the rest of the books come out. But yeah, I don't know, it just didn't quite hit that sort of like higher number. I'm definitely hearing something behind me, so let's hope that nothing comes jumping out. But yeah, it just didn't quite reach that 4 or 5 star feeling. So this book is a romantasy series. It follows Amy, who is Fae, and Killian, who is a vampire. There's also humans in this world, and they're sort of segregated into their own little kingdoms. So Amy is the magicless twin sister to this prophesized foretold one, and she is supposed to, the foretold one, work either together or against the vampire king, Killian, to either destroy or save the world. So Amy, being the twin sister of the foretold one, she is born without powers, and essentially like her family just treat her really badly. There are a lot of trigger warnings at the start of this book, but her parents, her mum's not around. Her dad, who is the king, he's pretty much like abandoned Amy since birth. She's been neglected by her family. The people around her also don't really treat her very well. And then her twin sister, Aurora, is actually the worst. So she goes out of her way to traumatize and torture Amy. So you get a little bit of a background on her upbringing before she moved away from home. And it's pretty traumatic. So the book really sort of starts when Amy is at work. She works as an aerial dancer at this club, and she's going home one night and she gets kidnapped by Killian, our vampire king, sorry. And essentially he's looking for the foretold one to get the prophecy sort of going so that he can save his people from this scourge. So there's this, I don't even know what you would call her. Her name is Morwena. She's like this evil entity that has been infecting all the vampires and essentially turning them into slaves and ravishing the vampire lands. So they've been trying to fight that being off and then stopping the spread of these like infected vampires. So yeah, he's trying to get Aurora, and he thought, well, at first he didn't realize that Aurora was the twin, and so he's kidnapped Amy thinking she was the foretold one, and then the story sort of progresses from there. We do end on a bit of a cliffhanger. It sort of does round out a little bit, and then there is a cliffhanger at the end that continues the story on. So I don't really mind where the story is going. It wasn't like, I don't know, like it's a good story. I had fun. There's lots of banter with the characters, and it's very fast paced in the sense that because it's not a very long book, it is kind of almost like insta love, but in a way that it was just kind of cheesy and fun. So I didn't mind it. But with that said, I want to chuck it into my reading journal. And because I do want to continue it on, I don't want to just write in my thoughts and stuff on the reading journal. I want to, well, actually, I don't really do that, but enter it into all the bits and bobs in here. But I also want to add it to my series tracker. So when the next one comes out, I remember to look for it. So let's do that now. And hopefully the angle won't be too bad because I didn't really set it up to do the journal, but we'll see how we go. Is that better? Maybe. All right, so first things first, I want to pull it up on my Goodreads. So my reviews are really dull. So mine was, it was fun and I plan on continuing the series. So as far as reviews go, it's not very informative, but this is the book essentially. And I want to add it in. So I could put it here, A Foretale of Silver Fables, but I'm not going to today because I might want to put something else there. Actually, you know what? We're going to do it. So I try to see how this one's called The Fake Mate. That's used up the T because to me that is the first part of the title. So I wouldn't use like this particular title under F because the is the T. So that's how I'm going through this challenge. And then I was also thinking next time or next year I can do one for the authors and then one for the book titles. At this stage, I was going to try and do both, but then I figured I'd need a whole new spread or a second spread, and I just couldn't be bothered redoing a spread. So next time, I might do two. We'll see how much I enjoy doing this for the rest of the year. This won't be a great angle until I'm finished, so I'm sorry guys, but I just don't really have a setup for an on-table view. Wow, this is a long title. We're going to go here. And then Amy. Ember Heart. We're not quite through Jan yet, but so far no DNFs, which is good. And then I can see if it's going to fit here on anywhere. So it's not a horror. I didn't read it in one day. It's not a 5-star. It doesn't really fit these ones. It's not a reread. It's not really a new release, but definitely not completed. I mean, technically it would fit complete a series because the rest of the book isn't out yet, but I want to save this for one that is like a full completion, not just sort of like an up-to-date. I didn't cry. It's not really a rom-com. It was spicy, but it wasn't quite, like in my head I'm thinking spicy is like full, almost like erotica story. Slow burn, no. It was a fantasy, but nah, I don't feel like it fits 100% in any of these, so we're not going to put it on the book bingo. I didn't purchase it because it's a Kindle book, so we're going to add it to the series tracker. Because I don't know how many books are going to be in this series, I'm just going to start it off here and then leave the bottom open. I'm going to put it for at least 2 books and then go from there. So I just want to make sure that my measurements are the same. So it's sort of like 1, 2, 3 books in, and at least one thing down. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then it was 2 deep for the title. And then 1 box and 2 box. So I'm going to go down 2 because there's at least a sequel. And then I do the actual box. So I'm going to leave the bottom open just so that if I need to add any, that was terrible, but anyway. And then for the colors, I have a chart at the back here where I've experimented. So we've got a Feb for the purple, and then the green is June. So then I've put on, nope, here we go, Feb and June for the colors. So at the moment we're in Jan, so I'm doing all my highlights in Jan. I'm rubbing it off with my fingers, but never mind. So purple for the title, and then oh, I drew lines on that one. That's so annoying. That's so annoying. Why did I do that? Anyway, it's not a big deal. And then let's go the top one, since we don't know how many we're going to have. And then I can colour in the first box because we've read the first. And then we can actually fill out the details. So I put the series title up the top if I know it. So this one's called The Chronicles of Mirion. Of course it is, because it's going to be a really long title. At this stage there is no second book details yet, so when I get any more details I will add it in there. Alright, so that's it for the series tracker. And then my reading log, so this is everything I've read so far. We're up to book 8, which is actually a lot more than I was expecting, but I've been really in a reading mood. And then I do put like a little E, A or P for like an ebook, physical book, or a audio book. And then it was Amy Emberhart. And then I do put the rating here just because. And then I will eventually do like my 26 for 26, which I haven't started, but I'll pop my favorite book or books of Jan in here so that at the end of the year I can sort of pick my favorites for the entire year. It's not on my Kindle backlist, which is ridiculously long because it was just an impromptu KU download. So that is everything on here so far. And then that is it until my next book. Alright guys, that's it for this week's video. Thanks so much for spending the day with me. Let me know down below what sort of bookish things that you like to do when you've got some spare time, and I will catch you next week for a new video. Bye.